Just wanted to remind the community and everyone out there that this will be our last game for our seniors. We'll be having our senior walk right after the game. The seniors will go into the locker room for a brief period, just a moment, and then they'll come back and have an opportunity not only to reflect their 4, 5, and 6 years here at Syracuse, but also any memories that you would like to share with them as they walk around the football field for their final lap in the dome. So I just wanted to put a reminder out there to the community. Questions?
Nico?
I'll start with as far as, this season when there's a year like this that maybe doesn't go this way or there is adversity, what can your players and really anybody on this team take from this? How will that help them grow?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the adversity part. I think you got to turn a negative into a positive. There was expectations from a lot of people in this room, and a lot of people that were in this room on Sunday having the team meeting, and things didn't go our way. Now you need to take that and put it somewhere, and always remember when you want something how hard you need to work for it, and you can't wish. You got to make it happen. And I think that's a message that's been learned by our 105 members in this room, and I think it's been learned by a lot of people in the community as well.
Stephen?
Thank you. Had a few personnel questions. We're only going to talk to you, I guess, after the Wake Forest game in today. 3 guys, we'll go through them one by one. Sam Heckel, what's kind of the outlook for him moving forward?
Again, has to do with medical stuff, and I don't want to put his business out there. Would always love for him to be a part of what's going on. Don't know what the medical people are going to say.
He hasn't practiced or anything this year. You're not expecting him for Wake Forest. Is the plan to take another look at him after the year? Is it possible he's ready for the spring?
One of the things that I'm going to do, I'm going to set a precedent, is I want to stop talking about other people's injuries and stuff like that because it's not healthy. He's been hurt, and we need to see if he's going to get better or not. And some of that stuff is private, and I just don't want to put it out there. He has had some things done, and hopefully it'll make a difference. I can't tell you right now.
Yes. So you don't know if he'll be ready for the spring, basically.
Mm-mm.
And then Caleb Okechukwu, we haven't heard about all year. Anything you can share?
I'll tell you what, you nailed 3 good ones, and all 3 of them are the same, and that's not to try to make them the same. I literally don't know what's going to happen. Okay.
Other questions? Stephen?
Kind of curious as you look at the defensive coordinator hire, how does that time out with your recruiting? What challenges does it present to be talking to guys with early signing period coming up and I guess not having that position solidified?
Once again, that is going to be something that's going to be decided after the season. It's definitely something that we need to look into, and I will look into, because it needs to be addressed whether we do or don't make a change. And I'm not going to even start that stuff until we see how this thing ends up.
Jonathan, coach on your left.
Coach, this is the first class that you'll spend all 4 years with. What can you say about these guys and the time you've had with them?
Fantastic question. I think about our word faith, belief without evidence. And these guys came when there was no evidence, and they had tremendous faith in what we were going to get done here. And they had some good times, and now they've had some bad times. But I think they're going to always be orange, and I don't think they would have it any other way. Their memories are strong memories, and I think as they go off into the world as better fathers, better sons, and better husbands, we're going to have somebody that's always connected to Syracuse University and always connected to upstate New York. And I couldn't be more proud of these young men, the ones that played and the ones that didn't play, and sometimes people, and I know that you guys don't because you guys are very involved with the family, but there's a lot of young men that, medically, you never even saw them. There's guys that are graduating that got hurt 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, and a lot of people don't even know their names, but they're still part of what we started here, and they came in here with the right frame of mind, but things just didn't go their way. So there's a lot of family members that are going to be walking and that we're going to be thinking about on Saturday, and they'll always be orange.
Nico?
One of the seniors I wanted to ask you about is actually someone who just came in. He has a unique story about Hannes, wrestling. There's a Hannes or Holmes, excuse me, but wrestling at Cornell and coming in. What you saw from him, how unique was that story to your football team?
It was very unique. He came in and he was a wrestler. He came in with the right mentality. I'll tell you that. If you don't know who not to mess with, don't mess with a wrestler. Wrestlers are different now. Football players and wrestlers, I don't even know which one's weirder, but you got to be careful with those guys. But he's got some physicality to him. He came in, he practiced extremely well, and he fit right in. He fit right into the team atmosphere, and we were lucky to have him, and he's a good contributor to what we were trying to get done this year.
I wanted to ask about Sterling. From my perspective, it seemed like a pretty scary moment for a guy who's a couple games away from, going to hopefully play professionally. What are you thinking as you see that happening, and what can you share about how he's doing?
He'll be fine. I'm expecting him to be fine, and I'm expecting him to be there on Saturday. So unless something pops up that I don't know about, which would pop up later on today, I would imagine he's going to be there. It was a little scary because he's a different position than most positions. But when I went out in the field to see him, he was he's a warrior. He's a warrior in every sense of the word. And there's no doubt, regardless of what happens Saturday, he'll be able to play on Sundays, and I think that's really where he's going to end up. And the crazy thing about it, when you watch the tape, it was friendly fire. Yeah. It was somebody hitting one of our guys and one of our guys running into him. And there's a special place in helmets that's really, really soft, and if you get hit in that place, you can feel all of it, and he felt it all. But he's okay. I saw him at Mill yesterday. He's doing all right. So it's not going to stop him from his career. We got to see what goes on for Saturday.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Time for two more? Steven?
I appreciate you today, Steve. No one else has any questions.
I've always got questions for you.
I know you do.
I wanted to ask you about the quarterback position, kind of looking ahead to next year. Obviously, Clayton won't be here. How do you kind of view that group and where Tommy is, and maybe the efforts you guys are making to potentially bring another player into the fold?
Well, obviously, recruiting is recruiting. We don't know what's going to happen. We're recruiting at all positions. We need all positions. So we're going to go through the process and find out who we can get and get the best player possible and throw them in the hat and let them all work out and see where it all settles down at. But quarterback is no different than any other position. We need to make sure, especially at that position, you try to get a guy every year, which we didn't 1 year, so we got to fill in some gaps.
You've kind of talked about Tommy being potentially a starter here for 3 years. This year is obviously rough for him in a number of different ways. Do you still kind of view him as the guy moving into next year?
I think he's the guy because he's the best guy coming back, but everything is open. How do I say it? We had the one situation when there was a starting safety when Andre Cisco got here. Yeah. And Andre Cisco was the second-team safety in spring. And then he was the first-team safety in the fall. And he's been ever since. No different than Kendall Coleman. There was a starting senior, junior defensive end when Kendall Coleman got here. Okay, but he was just too good to keep off the football field. First time he had a scrimmage here, his position coach said he graded 100%, and I said, baloney cheese, nobody grades 100%, and he's never been coached before. So the whole staff started watching the game again at 10 o'clock at night, and we got done in the AM. And when we got through grading it, he didn't have 100%. So the position coach was wrong. But he did have the highest grade we've ever seen by someone playing in their first scrimmage before. So in that way, the position coach was right. So you never know when you're going to get that individual, that Cisco, that Kendall Coleman, that's totally different than everybody else. But you need to be green and grown and open to that stuff. Certain guys have their slotted positions, but the best guy has to play no matter what.
Sure. Wake has kind of been the surprise team this year, much like Syracuse was last year. What have you seen from them overall?
Consistent consistently being able to score a lot of points. I think anytime you have you have that type of offense and you're able to score points, you're going to be in games even when you're not supposed to be in games. And even the games that they've lost, if you look at what their point total scores, they've been able to score points on everybody. So I think they've done a nice job on offense. They've done a nice job in defense and getting turnovers and getting stops. But for the schools like us to be able to make moves like we did last year and the way they did this year, you're going to have to be able to score a whole bunch of points if you're not going to have major stops out of your defense.
Last question for Coach.
All right, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. All righty.